Welcome to Life Transformation Radio. This show is all about life transformations and our journey from where we were to why we are doing what we are doing today. We will discuss the hiccups, the roller coasters, and the blood, sweat, and tears that has been poured out while discovering our purpose. It is all about our transformations. Here is your host, Sean Douglas.
Good afternoon and good evening, and welcome to another episode of Life Transformation Radio. I'm your host, Master Resilience Implementer, TEDx speaker, business positioning strategist, and author, Sean Douglas. This show is currently heard in over 74 countries. So whether it's your first time joining us or you've been listening to us for some time, I want to thank you to those who are listening from around the world. Life Transformation Radio is all about our transformation. Here, we tell stories of why we're doing what we're doing. We highlight that transformational moment that changed our lives and how we use it to then transform others and elevate their lives as well. You can listen to us live right here on the Blog Talk Radio Network, Tuesday through Friday at 5:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Join our Facebook group, Life Transformation Radio Community. Interact with the guests and the listeners that I bring on the show. Wherever you're listening to on podcasts or wherever you prefer to listen to shows, please subscribe wherever that is. We are available on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Spreaker, Spotify, TuneIn, Player FM, Radio Public, Overcast, CastBox, Himalaya app, Google Play Music app. Basically, wherever you listen to podcasts, Life Transformation Radio can be subscribed to. And if you think that our show is worth it, please leave us a rating and a review and let us know what you think. On the show, my guests are entrepreneurs, speakers, business owners, coaches, podcasters, authors, basically amazing human beings who are impacting the world around them. And my guest today does exactly that. If you have any questions for any of the guests that I bring on the show during our live broadcast, Tuesday through Friday at 5:30 p.m. Eastern Time, join us by calling in at 657-383-1109. Again, the number is 657-383-1109. And with that, please help me welcome to the show my guest for today, Roy Krebs. Roy, welcome to Life Transformation Radio.
Thanks, Sean. Real pleasure to be here.
Man, I'm super pumped to have you on the show. I haven't had too many people that do what you do, or like one other person like on the show that talked about like healthy supplements and things like that. So I'm really excited to dive in. Anytime that I get to talk about the brain and health and just science in general, I think it's very fascinating. So I'm really happy about this show today.
Thanks. Yeah, fascinating for me too. And I think the human body, which includes the brain, is the next big innovation frontier. We're kind of in this golden age when it comes to health information. It's so accessible. More products are accessible. There's more information on your own health. You can do lab tests, you can do assessments, and you can really take health into your own hands, which I think is really exciting and something that maybe wasn't available 10, 20 years ago.
Oh, 100%. Oh, without a doubt. Just in the last 15 years, there's been remarkable growth, remarkable technology, and even more incredible advances in medicine, supplements, all that stuff. So, yeah, I'm excited to dive in, man. So if you're ready, let's do it.
We're ready.
So the title of this episode is Building Better Brains Through Supplements with NaturalStacks CEO Roy Krebs. Roy is the co-founder and CEO of NaturalStacks, an open-source supplement company that helps consumers improve mood, memory, and focus through targeted brain health products. Together with this team at NaturalStacks, Roy is on a mission to build 1 billion better brains. Roy is a lifelong athlete who started researching natural ways to improve brain health and performance after watching his grandfather suffer from cognitive decline. Uncomfortable with the shotgun approach of proprietary nootropic blends and dissatisfied with the ineffectiveness of standalone herbal ingredients, Roy co-founded NaturalStacks to help people achieve the highest level of mental performance by providing natural solutions that work. Roy is passionate about transparency, especially with regards to ingredients and labeling, and he incorporates that transparency into NaturalStacks philosophy as a company and as an honest resource for health-focused consumers looking for optimized health and performance in both body and mind. You can go to naturalstacks.com, look at the website, connect with Roy on LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. It's all right there in the show notes. Connect with him and send him a message to let him know that you heard it here on Life Transformation Radio. So, Roy, man, my first question right out the gate is why? Why do you do what you do?
Why is that I'm passionate to build a billion better brains. And truthfully, I think that most people are operating at maybe 30% of their capacity. And that, I mean, my mental capacity, and that's their ability to think and focus for more than 10, 20 minutes, the ability to empathize with others and interact in a more sociable way, right. The ability to memorize more and be more productive at work. And I want to help people achieve more and really enjoy life better. And that all starts with the brain. And so yeah, I'm really passionate about this. And it comes down to, I'm trying to help people build a brain, and I want them to be more like people I want to be around. You know, I want to be around smarter, more empathetic, more productive people, and this is what I think really the world needs. And so yeah, that's really kind of where it comes down to it is I've realized after going through my own transformation that there's a lot more that people can do, and they can be more productive. They can be happier. I think just a lot of people aren't even really, happy with themselves on a day-to-day basis. And there are kind of some basic and natural ways that we can help push people in the right direction.
Oh, I 100% agree. Yeah, I 100% agree with that. What I do want to mention is a couple of years ago, I think it was like 4 years now, they had a whole, I don't know if it was a documentary but I remember watching it, and they talked about specifically the supplement industry and how it's a $1 billion business. It's kind of a wild west. It's kind of unregulated in certain areas. They put supplement facts instead of FATS, they put FAQ. They changed the labeling a little bit, but I did learn that it is a huge business. And I got a buddy who is, all into, he's taken probably everything under the sun, and he's like, if you took everything off of GNC that's really just full of crap, you'd have maybe 3 or 4 products. Really, at GNC, you'd have maybe 3 or 4 products that actually help you. The rest is like ridiculous. So when you do find something that is all natural, it's healthy for you, it's got this blend of whatever, like you really start to hold on to that because there's just so much ridiculousness on the market.
Yes, and that's another part of my mission and my drive is to bring transparency and quality to the industry. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of lack of transparency, and I do not hesitate to say that more than half of the supplements on the market don't contain what they say they contain. The dosages are off. There may not even be an ingredient they say is in there. There's such a lack of regulation and quality sourcing and manufacturing that brands are really able to throw whatever they want into a capsule and then use some, sexy marketing with some girls in bikinis and make a big business out of it. My philosophy is a lot different. I want to be completely transparent. So no proprietary formulas. We put it all out there. we say who all of our ingredient suppliers are, so you know where each ingredient came from, and then we do third-party lab testing to actually prove what's on the supplement facts panel is actually what's in that product. And yeah, it can be discouraging. All these different supplement choices, there's a supplement for everything. But like you said, when it comes down to it, a lot of that is garbage. A lot of that's maybe not what you need. And a lot of it is kind of preying on you with this sophisticated marketing, but a really lack of quality in their product.
Yeah, absolutely. The quality that is not there seems to be the biggest problem. I started out when I first joined the military in 2001, I started taking andro fuel. The military said, nope, no more of that, no more andro fuel. And then we started taking like creatine supplements and mixing it with, instead of whey protein, they had the NitroTech and the Cell-Tech, which was like a big one, and then started getting rid from that. And then we started taking Jacked. And then they got rid of the Jack, the pre-workout. The military said, hell no, we're not doing that. So we got rid of that. So all us military dudes that are trying to get like huge buff and take supplements, they keep on banning them because the military literally is doing independent research all the time. And I just find it kind of disheartening that the FDA doesn't get involved and they make sure that everybody is consuming safe products. Because remember I was talking about the documentary, the movie, whatever. They were like, yeah, this is our little blend and it's supposed to do this, but yeah, I don't know. Like they're filling the pills with stuff. I don't even know really what it does or what's in it, and like people consume that stuff. That's so crazy when you think of it. That's so nuts.
It is. These are consumables. It's very serious. But the FDA doesn't get involved unless there's substantial consumer concern. If they hear that, this supplement killed someone or this supplement made 20 people sick, then they'll step in and investigate. But until that happens, they're not proactive at all. So any brand can, as long as they're using legal dietary supplement ingredients, they can put whatever they want together at really whatever dosages they want and bring it to market. And no one's going to stop them or even review their formula until it becomes a major problem.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. I got it. That makes sense. Definitely. So the supplements that I take Q10. I don't remember what the other one or the manufacturer, whatever you want to call it. Q10 fish oil, which I love. Fish burps in the morning. My wife absolutely loves those. So the fish oil, the CoQ10, and there's one. I mean, besides like a one a day, which I mean, are we talking about like all supplements here? Because I'm afraid that like I'm taking like the one a day, the Centrum, one a day is like we're supposed to, and the doctor's recommending these. But how do I know that I'm taking the right ones? Or I guess a better question, which, I mean, that's a good question, but from your standpoint, what do you recommend people take?
This is tough. It requires a lot of education. And
right.
If you're just a standard consumer with all these options, it's really hard to figure out. There are definitely reputable brands that are known to be higher quality. In general, most multivitamins are not going to be doing much for you. They're trying to fit 100 different ingredients into one tablet, and typically a tablet itself is really poorly dissolved by your stomach and is full of a bunch of fillers and binders and things. And they're typically using the kind of lower grade or less absorbable type of ingredients because they're cheaper and no one's going to spot check them on that. So really, I would say throw away your multivitamin and choose maybe 4 or 5 of those nutrients in the multivitamin that you want to optimize for, and get standalone, super high quality, absorbable forms of those ingredients. And then when it comes to fish oils, fish oils are also a tough one. Fish oils in general typically are made from farm-raised, really low-quality fish that aren't suitable for the food market, and they're grinding up fish guts and whatever else to extract these oils. And also, fish oils can oxidize very quickly, which then will lead to really more negative side effects than positive when you're trying to consume a high quality omega-3 product. And so if you are consuming a fish oil, what fish did it come from? If you don't know,
right,
that's an issue. So you want to get something like maybe a salmon oil or something that's coming from a wild fish that has low heavy metals. And, that sourcing on that is really, if you're just buying a cheap fish oil product, you're getting a really low grade fish oil. A lot of times I recommend krill oil, because krill is a sustainable source, the cleaner source of omega-3s. You don't have to worry about the heavy metals or the oxidation quite as much. I also recommend algae oil, which is completely a plant-based
algae
omega-3
oil.
product.
Algae.
Yeah. Yep. And so you can extract omega-3 fatty acids, especially DHA, which is important for the brain. You can get this sustainably from this plant, algae, and they grow these in these farms and plants, totally self-contained, very clean, no heavy metals like mercury that are in some fish oil products, and a really stable product. So yeah, vegan algae omega-3 is a safe way to go.
Well, I've heard omega-3s are really good to have. I think it just kind of broke my heart, man. The whole fish oil. So I didn't know that. I didn't know. The ones that you would recommend, though, I'm assuming that I would just go to NaturalStacks.com, just kind of figure out what would be best fit for me, or if I want to get some really good supplements. I'm an active guy. Military life and everything else. I should probably, and getting older, 36, so I should probably really be focusing on those supplements and really be focusing on longer lasting, stuff, and not just buying garbage. So I assume that I would just go to NaturalStacks.com, look at what you have available, and you have some of the same items or type of, either like the fish oil or whatever would be on your website, and I could just purchase supplements right from the website.
Yes, our focus is brain health. So pretty much all of our products are focused towards improving brain cognition in some way. But we do sell krill oil. That's our version of our omega-3 product is a krill oil. And we actually, to our krill oil, we actually added a little bit of tuna oil, because tuna has a high concentration of DHA. So we have a krill plus tuna oil product that's yes, it's high quality. It's coming from Antarctic waters, and really pristine processed. And so, yeah, we do have a krill oil product that has a great source of omega-3s. Really, for anyone like yourself, I think the two most important nutrients that most people are deficient in will be omega-3 fatty acids and magnesium.
Magnesium? Wow. I've heard the vitamin D, everybody's deficient in vitamin D.
Vitamin D, well, yes, if you're not in the sun very much, which most of us are not, unfortunately, or you live somewhere like I do in Seattle, that is just limited sun exposure in general.
Right.
Vitamin D3 is definitely important, but really magnesium deficiency is more rampant than vitamin D deficiency, and leads to just a lot of nasty things, yeah.
Where do we derive magnesium from?
Well, magnesium comes from green leafy vegetables. When was the last time you had a bunch of those? Yes.
Let's see. Like 2 nights ago, we threw some spinach in with our. What did we have? We had Italian sausage and rigatoni noodles with ricotta cheese and spinach. And then nice. I had tacos yesterday, so that was lettuce. You're right, man. I got nothing. You're right. I got nothing.
So magnesium, most people get magnesium from green leafy vegetables, and most people don't eat enough of those. And even if you do, our soils are really depleted of natural minerals that they used to have. So it's really hard to get significant magnesium into your body, and magnesium deficiency can creep up on you. It starts off and you might have a little bit of fatigue or mood issues or like muscle cramping, muscle tightness. But over time, like years of being deficient in magnesium, it's going to lead to more serious things like sleep issues, not able to go to sleep, more serious mood issues, and eventually heart disease, which is a massive problem in the United States. Is your heart requires magnesium to beat. And if you're starving yourself with magnesium, eventually it's going to degrade your heart. So
wow, I had no idea.
I consider it the most important dietary supplement ingredient for most people. And a lot of people are deficient. And once they start taking a high-quality magnesium supplement, get some immediate benefits. They're able to sleep better, their mood is improved, and their muscle health, their recovery time is all improved just from taking the magnesium.
Wow. I literally had no idea. When we talk supplements, I hear, omega-3, fatty acid, fish oils, CoQ10, calcium, vitamin D's, like that stuff. I've never heard of a magnesium supplement. Or people even, and I'm really magnesium deficient. That's something that I've never heard anybody ever say. Interesting.
There's one study, I think the National Institute of Health said that something like 70% of Americans are deficient in magnesium.
Holy smokes. Huh.
Yeah, so it's a big
wouldn't
deal.
doubt it that I am. It's not like I'm, like in our house, we eat a lot of steak, a lot of red meat, period. Mm-hmm. We eat a lot of chicken, rice, noodles. Like we're heavy protein. We are not. I mean, we eat salmon. Like we'll eat salmon, like once a week, once every 2 weeks, or something like that. But mostly, what I do pride myself on. My wife and I, we don't buy like Hamburger Helper anymore. Like we haven't done that in like a year or two. As a matter of fact, one time this year. We're like, well, let's just grab something quick because we had a lot of stuff going on in the week. It made a Hamburger Helper. I hadn't had it like a year or two. Literally, been a while. We made it, sat down to eat it, and our whole family's like, this tastes so disgusting. Like we couldn't eat it. Like we literally just threw it away, and then we just went out and got something. Like we hadn't had Hamburger Helper in over a year. It'd been a long time, and then we made it, and you could just literally tell the difference. In 2018, we made the decision we're nothing but fruit and vegetables, fresh meat, like scrap kitchen. That's what we're doing. We're never doing these, bag dinners and these boxes and everything's gonna be nice and fresh. So we'll make zucchini, squash, fresh vegetables, not out of a can, not out of a bag, like fresh produce. And we've done that for over a year, and it's amazing, remarkable that me, the wife, the kids, we immediately are like, this tastes nasty. Like, we're not eating this. When we don't eat natural, healthy stuff, it's just amazing the taste difference. We even got ham, bologna, like from the deli. We don't even get packaged like that stuff anymore. And it just tastes much different. Beef hot dogs. I'll pay the $2 or $3 to not get mechanically separated hot dogs. On the back of the package of hot dogs, it says mechanically separated chicken, beef, and pork. I'm not doing that. I'm getting all beef hot dogs.
Yeah,
and I'll pay
you're getting
extra.
More nutrients. You're actually getting more nutrient value from that food, which is going to make you feel better. Yep,
100%. And I'll tell you what, man, I'm not even joking. When we do eat, either at somebody else's house or we're like, we got to run out for gymnastics. Kids are in gymnastics. And man, we try to catch something quick, and then we just grab something unhealthy. We're just like, ugh. I can't even eat McDonald's anymore. We don't even eat fast food. I just feel lethargic and gross. I'm like, it tastes gross. Yeah. I feel gross. Like, I hate it. So, yes. But I'll definitely check what you got on NaturalStacks.com. What I want to know, and the focus of the show, is that transformation. So I kind of talked about mine and the transformation that really our family has undergone since beginning of 2018 was a kind of a New Year's resolution. We got to eat healthy. No more of the frozen pizzas and frozen bag dinners and hamburger helpers and just crap food. We're going to eat nice, healthy, dinners and lunches and, all that stuff. So I'm curious what your transformational moment is. What happened, or what is a transformational moment in your life that put you on the path to what you're doing today?
Yeah, and thanks for asking. There's a couple things that kind of led to this epiphany moment for me that said that I need to start paying better attention to my brain health. And I've been a lifelong athlete, so I played football in college. I was the captain of the team. For my whole life, I've done martial arts, and I have a black belt in 2 different martial arts, and I've continued to train in martial arts. So my body has just been really a fine-tuned machine, and I'm really happy with my physical performance all through college and after college. Working out a lot, taking all these supplements for my body, creatine, like you said, and protein powders, pre-workouts, post-workouts, and working out a lot, and really just getting a lot of output out of my body and getting a lot of fast recovery. And it wasn't until a couple of years after college, I was working in the real estate industry at that time, and my timing was bad. This was 2007, 2008, 2009, and the market was crashing, and personally, I just wasn't that stoked on my job, and I noticed myself starting to procrastinate, and I'd have this big to-do list, but I just wasn't getting much done. And I also had a little bit of brain fog. I couldn't. It seemed like I couldn't concentrate for really that long, and it kind of just said, I kind of just thought it was normal. I kind of just shrugged these things off. And then my grandfather, his name is also Roy, got diagnosed with Alzheimer's and dementia. And this was a real eye-opener for me. This was like the first kind of major health problem in our family. All my grandparents were alive, and this was kind of the major thing. And you think that, Grandpa is just, kind of trouble remembering some things or whatever. But then once it became like a diagnosis, and really the degradation happened very quickly, and it gets to the point where Grandpa, doesn't know your name and doesn't know where he is. And as I'm experiencing and watching my grandfather go through this, I start to notice my own brain. And I'm saying, wow, I'm not very productive. Wow, I have some brain fog. Was this because I played football for 8 years? I don't want to end up like Grandpa. And so that's when I literally just kind of stopped everything I was doing and started researching heavy into brain health and brain health supplements and how the brain works. And so different neurotransmitters, different pathways to improve cognition. And it became a real passion of mine, is that I wanted to take something. I wasn't looking for just a quick fix, but I wanted to experiment with supplements and other things, daily practices that I could do so I can kill my procrastination. I knew I could be more productive. I knew that I could focus better, and I wanted to have some immediate results, but I also wanted to make sure that whatever I was doing was healthy for the long term. I want to maintain this brain and cognition that I have for the next 100 years, and I don't want it to degrade. And so that's when I just really started researching what's on the market currently, and I found that there's really 2 approaches to attacking brain health when it came to supplements. And this has changed a little bit in the last 5 years, but when I was starting this journey, I found that there was really 2 approaches. One is a standalone ingredient. This is typically like an herb, like a ginkgo cola or a gotu kola, huperzine A. Then there's other specialty ingredients, like you said.
I haven't even heard of half of these.
Yeah, so there's
I haven't heard of half of
lion's
these.
mane mushroom. There's So
I suck.
it's not bad. Don't worry, because what I'm saying is none of these are that great. There's about 10 or 15 well-known brain health ingredients, and these ingredients have been around, thousands of years and are pretty well studied. But all the studies are kind of like, take it for 2 months, and you might see some improvement. And I tried them all, and there really wasn't much immediate benefit. And I wanted something that had more results. And so then on the flip side, you have these companies that are creating these nootropic blends. And what I found, well, one, it's typically proprietary formulas. So you don't really know what's in it or the amounts of the ingredients. But what I found is they're just taking those same 10 or 15 ingredients, jumbling them up in some formula, and there's no real rhyme or reason behind it, why they combine these ingredients or the dosages they chose on the ingredients. And so my research told me that, the brain is this really complex system, and it simply does not make sense to say, I'm going to optimize my focus, my memory, my mood, and my sleep, all with one supplement, because your brain just doesn't work like that. And so that's really what started my journey into starting NaturalStacks, which we focus on brain health supplements, and we have these very targeted formulas that typically have 4 or 5 ingredients, but we're only trying to do one thing with one product. So we have products that optimize specific neurotransmitters. So for example, instead of having like a mood formula, which might help boost your serotonin and your dopamine and your GABA, we have products that focus on those individual neurotransmitters, because the feeling of serotonin is a lot different than the feeling of dopamine or GABA, and it gives you a lot more control and power, and you get more results if you can focus on just optimizing one area of cognition at a time rather than trying to do everything at once.
Got it. Have you seen the movie Limitless?
Of course, yes. NZT48.
Wouldn't that be amazing? Right? I've actually heard a radio ad like, do you have brain fog? Do you wish you were smarter? Ever seen the movie Limitless? We've come out with the pill. It's actually here. And I'm thinking to myself, oh my God, no, somebody did not. Like, no, somebody did not pretend to manufacture the actual pill. Get out of here. Yeah, I thought that was funny. I just heard a radio ad the other day.
It is funny because we actually, when that movie came out, we released a blog post on our website that said, something like, no, the NZT48 is not real. Here's kind of what they were trying to do, but there's nothing that's quite like NZT48. And we actually get a ton of traffic. A ton of people are looking for NZT48 and end up finding our blog post, which is unexpected.
Well, that's cool.
But it actually is a lot of traffic coming our way from people trying to find that drug.
So it's almost like you should start a podcast called Limitless, right? NaturalStacks Limitless. I don't know if it's copyrighted. Limitless. I mean, I don't know if you can copyright a word or trademark. You know what I mean? It's just one word. So I don't know. Yeah. Man, that would be. Man, you get a lot of traffic, I bet. But
yeah, maybe the movie, I think, has kind of lost its buzz. I think maybe people don't really know about it too much anymore. But that was a funny thing.
That made me like laugh. I was like, oh my God, here we go. And I mean, pretty entertaining movie, pretty cool. But I keep thinking about that brain fog, and something that's fascinating to me. And being active and military guy, military background, it doesn't matter how I'm feeling, but as soon as I get out in nature or I start exercising or running or something, it's like that fog is gone for a minute. It's just, it's fascinating to me. I feel clear. I see clear. My thoughts are clear. I'm focused. I'm, full of energy, and then if I'm just sitting there, like if I'm sitting on my phone or I'm sitting there, watching a movie, like at a movie theater, whatever, my brain's wandering. I'm trying to focus, thinking about other things. I just feel like I'm in I don't know. I feel like I'm in a funk. I feel like I should be doing something, but I don't know what to do with my hands, type of thing. You know what I mean?
It's really hard, especially in today's day and age with all the stimulus that's happening and the notifications that you're getting on your phone, and your brain is taking every which way, and you're trying to take in all this information, information overload. And so it's hard to focus. It's hard to figure out what to think about at a given time. And I think that becomes kind of a major stressor in people's lives, is just having too much information, and 99% of that information is useless, and it's just taking up cognitive power. And yeah, things like you said, if you get outside or you exercise, these are ways that you can naturally increase certain neurotransmitters that will lead to better brain performance. And what you want to do is get it to the point where you're having that same level of focus and mood and ability to think and get rid of the brain fog on a full 24-hour basis. I think most people don't experience that clarity near enough when if you supplement with the right nutrition and you do the right things, you're sleeping properly, you're getting exercise, your brain's going to work a lot better.
I agree. Absolutely, I agree. So when people ask you about, supplements, and I don't know if you're called like the supplement guy, like I'm the podcast guy, I'm the resilience guy. I don't know why people think that, like, oh, you're that guy, like, do you ever get like doctor advice, like, Roy, like, I'm this height and weight or whatever, like, what should I be taking? Like, or, like, do they pick your brain about things a lot?
For sure, and I encourage it. Please reach out to me, Roy, at NaturalStacks.com. I am not a doctor. I'll say that right out. I'm not a doctor. I've never been to medical school. In college, I studied economics. So I'm definitely not a doctor of any sort. I do have a good understanding of how the brain works.
But you're educated, though.
Really,
that's the difference. Most people are not educated.
Yeah. What I've really focused on is the individual neurotransmitters. And so you have four main neurotransmitters in the brain. That's dopamine, serotonin, acetylcholine, and GABA. And
never heard
what
of GABA.
I found super interesting, and I recommend this book. Is called The Edge Effect by Dr. Eric Braverman. And after I read this book, it really turned me on to the fact that everyone's personality, who they are, how they interact with others, how they process information, is all defined by the levels of these four neurotransmitters in your brain. Huh. And so I know that's kind of like a really simple way to say it, but it's true. And, people that are higher in acetylcholine relative to the other neurotransmitters are more people persons. They're faster thinking. They're more productive type people, whereas people that are GABA dominant, they produce GABA better in their brain than other neurotransmitters. They're typically more empathetic. They are more creative. They relax better. That they're not uptight. And so not only is everyone kind of dominant or deficient in certain neurotransmitters, but this just changes day by day and almost hour by hour. And what I've learned is how to optimize different neurotransmitters at different times of day or different situations to really optimize what you're doing. Because certain activities or certain time of day, like very generally, your brain is burning a little more dopamine in the morning. Dopamine gives you that mental drive and the motivation, to be more productive. The ability to experience pleasure is dopamine related. So if you feel yourself procrastinating or just kind of dull, it's likely that you're low in dopamine. And you can take supplements and you can do physical activity to help boost that dopamine. You can correct that almost instantly. You can kill your procrastination in like 20 minutes if you're supporting your brain the right way. And another example is if you're in a shitty mood, you have lower self-esteem, you're feeling negative, it's very likely that you're low in serotonin. It's not just like how you are, who you are. There's these little neurotransmitters in your brain that you can actually control. You can change the way you're feeling almost instantly if you do the right things. So there's a lot to be learned here, but really it's just if you can understand these 4 neurotransmitters. Dopamine is mental drive and motivation. So if you're low dopamine, you're procrastinating.
Okay.
Acetylcholine is mental processing speed and clarity. How fast is your brain working? This one's related to brain fog. So if you're feeling brain fog, or if you're feeling just mentally slow, like tip of the tongue syndrome is what I say. What's that one word you're thinking of that you can't think of it? Where's
Which happens like
what's
every
that person's name? Yeah, if you're experiencing any of that, it's very likely that you're low in acetylcholine. And then GABA, GABA, and there's serotonin and then GABA. So serotonin, like we mentioned, is just that negative mood, and then GABA is responsible for calmness, relaxation, and sleep. So if you're low in GABA, you're overwhelmed, you're anxious, you're nervous, you have racing thoughts. You go to sleep and you have so much on your mind that you can't relax. That means you're low in GABA, and you can correct that. So it's really the quicker you can get an understanding of yourself, and the quicker you can be introspective to saying, it's not just you're in a good mood or in a bad mood, but what is it exactly that you're feeling? And if you can define that, then you can fix it.
God, wow. That is some powerful words, man. Oh, man. So now I got to go do research. Now you just brought me down a rabbit hole. Now I'm like super interested. Now I got to go do some research.
That's what happened to me. Yeah.
That's funny. Yeah, I'm like GABA. I'm like, I'm taking notes. I'm like, I've never heard of that. I'm like, dang it. And I do research, prior to the show. I look at the websites. I look at, I kind of knew the answer to, so I just go on NaturalStacks. I can go to naturalstacks.com. I can look there. I can, so I kind of already know the answer. I just want you to tell the audience, like, oh yeah, you can go here, do this, give your version of what I'm already saying. But then there's times where my guest goes down a rabbit hole or gets super deep, far into the weeds, and I'm not educated. I'm like, dang it, now I got to do research because now I kind of want to know. So thanks for that.
Yeah, really, a great place to start is Dr. Eric Braverman created this assessment. It's called the Braverman Assessment. And you can just Google that. You can find it. It's for free. You can take it online,
cool.
And it takes about 20 minutes. It's like 200 questions, but they're all kind of like true or false type questions. And at the end of that assessment, this is not like a blood test or something. It's more qualitative, but I found it to be very accurate. Is at the end of that assessment, it will tell you which neurotransmitter you're dominant in and which one you're deficient in. And just that initial assessment will give you a lot better understanding of your own brain and what you could do to maybe help push yourself into a direction where you're thinking more clearly, you're focusing better, you're in a better mood, you're sleeping better. All these things are related to the neurotransmitter levels in your brain.
Huh. So you just blew my mind, man. Like, wow. Yeah, now I got to do research. Now I got to know because I like you told me, like the multivitamins and everything. Like it's cool that you're taking that stuff, but it's like not really. I'm like, crap. Because I thought health for me. I mean, I got mom who's been over 30 years in the medical field and all that. I got some other family members that have been, in the medical community. I was always taught heart health, not brain health. The sole focus has always been on heart health because that's what would give out first.
Yes, and heart health is super important. And like I said earlier in the show, heart disease is one of the major killers in the United States, like by far. But frankly, I think you're better off taking magnesium than you are CoQ10 to maintain heart health. CoQ10 is a great ingredient. There's nothing wrong with it. It is a little bit expensive. To get a high quality form of CoQ10, but yeah, that's a great ingredient. It's going to help. There's no harm being done. But really, when it comes down to it, what are you if you don't have your brain? Your heart can still be beating, but if your brain's not there, you really lose your consciousness, and who you are is all linked to your brain. So I consider it by far the most important organ to take care of, above really anything else.
Got it. Perfect. Wow. All right. Very cool. As far as the only work that I've ever done is as far as the resilience and all that is just like cognitive behavioral therapy and like all that. I've done the cognitive stuff, never like through a supplement or never through kind of what we're talking about. So I think that's very, very cool. So how do you take your why? How have you taken your transformation moment and use that to elevate the world around you?
Yeah, for me, it's education and providing these very targeted formulas that have real results. And I'm always working to improve my ability to educate, getting on podcasts and radio shows, and I try to make my product accessible too. We lower the price points when we can. Our flagship product, Siltep, we're actually lowering the price point. And, we're doing that because we want to help more people and we want to make it more accessible to more people. Our mission is to build 1 billion better brains. And we're doing that through education and these very high quality targeted brain health supplements, which I've always said that education is our struggle and our opportunity. And that's because we have these products that are a little more sophisticated. We have a product that's called acetylcholine brain food. And that's a little different than something like Neural Optimizer or like New Mood or like, some of these more marketing oriented brands. But that's what the product is. This is food for your acetylcholine neurotransmitter. And so it's very clear in what it is, but from a general consumer perspective, it takes more education to get to that point to figure out that's the product they need. But we had to do it that way because this is how you actually get the results, having these really targeted formulas. And most people feel benefit from our products within 30 minutes of the first dose. So if we can get people to try the products and experience a better working brain, then we won. We're continuing on our quest to build 1 billion better brains, and now all of a sudden I have someone in my community, in my world, that has a little bit of a better working brain, and that's good for all of us. Like I said at the beginning of the show, I want to be around people that are more productive, that are smarter, that are more empathetic, have a better mood. And so that's really the general mission here, is to help improve lives through better cognition.
Very cool, man. I absolutely love everything about that. Wholeheartedly agree. And I literally, man, I learned a lot. There's some things that I've never even heard of before. Very cool, man. Smart dude, my friend. You're doing amazing things in the world, and now I got to go recalculate my supplement budget.
I don't want to break your budget, and that's for sure. I think it's just figuring out, exactly what you need, and then cutting out some of the stuff that maybe is not doing the most. Like a general multivitamin generally is not, doing that much for you. It does require, some self-motivation to begin the quest, for sure.
Sure.
And supplements are kind of the last route. You have to improve your environment, you have to improve your diet and your exercise, and then it's really the supplements are kind of like what can take you to the next level after that. So I definitely am not preaching that these are like magic pills that are going to, take one and all of a sudden it's NZT 48. These are supplements to a completely healthy lifestyle.
Oh, yeah. No, for sure. Man, it has been an absolute honor to have you on the show talking about the supplements and what you're doing and how you're elevating the world around you, man, through brain health. And I thank you so much, man. I thank you for your time and what you're bringing to the world with NaturalStacks.
Thank you. Thanks for having me on and allowing me to share my story and share my vision for a better working brain world.
Oh, absolutely, man. Absolutely. Life Transformation Radio, an amazing guest impacting the world around him. If anything resonated with you, please connect with Roy Krebs on LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram. Go check out the YouTube channel. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. The show notes have all of those links in there. Copy, paste, click on it, whatever you're going to do. Go to NaturalStacks.com. NaturalStacks.com. Go see what they're creating for brain health, especially if you've got, like he said, his father had suffered through some dementia and Alzheimer's and things. So if you have something like that running in your family genetically, connect with Roy, have a conversation with him, and see what you can do to alleviate or reduce the risk and effects of that. And with that, go to NaturalStacks.com, connect with Roy, and if anything resonated with you, send him a message. Let him know that you heard him here on Life Transformation Radio. And while you're listening to us, subscribe. Whatever platform you listen to podcasts on or are listening to Life Transformation Radio on, subscribe and leave us a rating and review. And with that, we close the show by saying, live your brand. Find opportunities every day to live out the core values that you hold deep in your heart. And I call this living your brand. So until the next episode, live a great life.